I'm about to debunk a whole bunch of questions first-time cruisers have and think about cruise ships. They're not true. Let me explain, because that's what's next. I want to see you out on the next detour. I want to see you cruising. I want to see you having a blast and having a time of your life like we do. And there's some things out there that people think, because it just ain't true. It just ain't true. And here are 10 of them right now, because first of all, is cruising too expensive? Let me break it down for you and debunk it like this. Say you're going on a vacation somewhere. Well, first of all, you have to rent a hotel room, and that hotel room is going to cost you anywhere from $100 to $200. So we'll just say $150 a night for a hotel room for 2 people. Then you still have to eat. And if you just ate 3 meals a day at McDonald's, that would be $10 per person, so $20 per meal, so $60 per day. On top of the $150, so now you have $210. Now that is no entertainment, no nothing. So if say you want to spend $50 to go out that night and do something fun, there's not a whole lot you can go do for that small amount, but we'll just say that. So now we're at $260. Now because cruising costs extra to get drinks, well, I'm not even going to talk about drinking or anything like that, but just say you wanted to eat one really good meal a day. Okay, so 40 more. So now we're at $300 in a day. Yeah, my math is kind of all over the place, but work with me. You're at $300 a day for a basic setup day. I have cruised on cruises where I'm paying less than $150 a day. That's just your room on land. On the ship, you're gonna have entertainment, you're gonna have shows, you're gonna have all the bars you wanna go to, you're gonna have live music.
Playing Buffalo!
You're gonna have pools, slides, all kind of other things, even go-karts and bumper cars. Like on Royal, you can even do I-Fly for free, which is like, what, $150 to do 3 jumps? So there's a ton of things to do on the ship where you could easily equivalent that to $300, $400, $500 a day on land. I did talk to a friend of mine just a couple of weeks ago and asked him what he spent per day, and he was figuring about $500 to $600 per day to go on vacation. You can book a 7-day cruise for $2,000 or less. I'm on the top of the world! So no, stop right there. I do not think that cruising is too expensive. If you watch, plan, and strategically do it, you can get some amazing values. With all that being said, one of the other myths is you're gonna get bored on the ship. Come on now, you heard all the things I just talked about. I-Fly, surf simulators, go-karts, bumper cars, ice skating. There's bars, probably 10 of them per ship. There's live music. There's DJs, there's parties at night, shows you can go to and watch. There's casinos, that's money. You can just hang out in a jacuzzi all day. I don't think there's any way to ever get bored on a ship unless you're just sitting in the corner staring at a wall. Get up and do something. One of the big myths out there is going to be, do I need a passport? If it's a closed loop sailing, so that means if it leaves Miami, the echo is badass, goes to a bunch of places and comes back to Miami. So if it starts and stops in the same location within America, you don't need a passport. Now let me tell you why I still say get a passport. If you're on a ship and you cruise down to some other country and you get off that ship and you rent a moped for the day.
Hello, chicken.
And then you crash that moped and you break your toes and you have to go to the hospital and get it fixed, and then the boat leaves without you and you don't have a passport. You're gonna have a hard time getting back to the United States. If you don't have a passport, you can't get on an airplane flight. The passport solves all the major problems that could happen. The ones you don't want to think about, but they do happen. So just get a passport. Yes, you don't need it. So the myth is busted. You don't need it, but you want it. One of the myths is, I'm just not a foodie and I can't find anything to eat. Dude, there's 15 restaurants on a ship and they go over and beyond to make a little bit of everything for everybody. And if you have allergies or some kind of food thing, you can make sure you talk to them. And the newer ships are getting even better at it for vegans and all these other things. No matter what you are, there is going to be something you can eat. You'll never have to worry about it no matter what your situation is. They're going to cater to you. And if you have some real special one, just make sure you notify the cruise line before you get on the ship and they will cater to you. That's what their jobs are. Their job is to get you on the ship, no matter what the reason or problem you have, and to make you feel comfortable. Another myth is that you're gonna get seasick. First of all, they are designing these ships with these wings that come out now. That actually stabilizes the ship so it doesn't rock side to side. And then the ships are so long and so big, they pretty much don't rock forward and backwards too much anymore. And I have sailed on smaller ships and I have sailed on some of the biggest ships. And you know what? One time in 12 cruises that I've been on, I think I've gotten a little queasy one day. Like, I didn't even feel seasick. I just felt like I was off and I wasn't even sure if I was just tired. Yeah, the ship was rocking that day, but that was the only time I felt it. There's Dramamine, there's the wristbands, there's the dots behind the ear, there's medicine you can get for this. If you're concerned about it, get it before you get on a ship because it can be expensive on the ship, and wear it every day. I see a bunch of people that don't even know if they're like, first cruise, don't even know if I'm seasick, but I'm wearing this thing just in case. And even if you do, it's only gonna be for a couple of hours, and just go rest it off. Go lay down for a little bit. I hear this myth that cruising is for old people. Now, if you're calling me old, I'm 44. I am old. You have absolutely lost your mind. When I get on a cruise ship, not only do you have young families, you have everybody from 20-year-olds to 90-year-olds and everything in between. Yes, some cruise lines are dedicated to older people, like Princess Cruise when we went on there. And then if you go on Carnival or Virgin Voyages, you may get a lot more of the younger crowd, more around the 35, 40-year-olds. And in fact, I'm seeing less and less of the really older crowd. They have moved on more of a different style of cruising, like Princess or Celebrity or even some other higher brands. That myth is way busted. Another big myth is I'm gonna get claustrophobic. There's New York City apartments that are smaller than some of these cruise line apartments. You have the whole ship to explore. Your room and your cabin may be on the smaller size, but it has everything you need: a bed, a desk, and a bathroom, and normally a couch. And then you have the rest of a 1,000-foot long, 100-foot wide, massive 15 to 20-story building city, a monstrosity of a boat that you can go explore. That even goes for claustrophobic with crowds. These ships are designed now so there's crowd flow. If one area is packed, you will definitely be able to find another area to go chill where there's less people and you can relax and have a good time. And yes, we did 3 days at sea on the Princess in a row. I never felt trapped. I was never ready to get off the ship. I was ready to go on another cruise. There is a giant myth about these cruise ships being very bad for the environment. Well, now in the past, they have done some really wacky things. Not now, not today, not ever. They're going to some ships that are gonna be LNG, liquid natural gas fuels, which are way less pollutant than the fuels they used to use. They also do not pretty much dump anything overboard ever. They bring it to shore and then process it through on shore. Plus they have some of the best water treatment and waste processing centers in the world on these cruise ships. These things do not pollute nearly as bad as they used to back in the day. If you're worried about an environment, well, actually they're bringing people to see the world, which then more people will care about the world and more people will be environmentally friendly. I don't know, I'm not an environmentalist, but if you are, and I can debunk that they're nowhere near as bad as they used to be, and they're better than most other forms of travel. I heard the myth that, people are jumping overboard, falling off the ships are sinking, and guys, stop. The first story you're gonna see in the headlines is always gonna be the bad news because it's what attracts people's eyes. For every 2, 5, 10 million people that travel on a cruise ship, they never have a single issue. Cruise ships are probably some of the safest ways to travel, and I think they've sunk 2 or 3 of them in the last 100 years. Don't watch the movie Titanic right before you go on a cruise ship, or be like me and actually watch Titanic right before you go on a cruise ship just for the fun of it. They really work hard to stay away from storms, to keep you out of storms. We have rerouted around storms. They want to make money, and they can't make money if they're not safe. It's very safe. Another big myth is everything costs extra. That is not true. They are nickel and diming you on a lot of cruise ships nowadays. Yes, the cruise lines are trying to make every dollar they can. It's a capitalist society. Deal with it. But not everything costs. The slides, the water slides on Norwegian, completely free. The iFly on Royal Caribbean, the shows at night, you have 5 or 6 restaurants that are completely free on the ship that you can eat at for the whole week and never pay for any specialty dining. Little bonus for the specialty dining thing. On Norwegian, we are now gold members or platinum members or something like that. So every time we go on a cruise, we get 2 specialty dining meals for free. I promise you, you can stay on a ship for a week and never pay for a single thing. I do it all the time. One of the last big myths I can think of, dress codes. Most ships nowadays on the mainline cruise lines, Royal Caribbean, Carnival, Norwegian, it's pretty much dress however you like. There is no real formal nights anymore like there used to be, where you had to get a tux and a tie or a suit. And even if they do have that night, it's only going to be in 1 or 2 restaurants, and then you can have the rest of the ship and the other 12 restaurants to go to, and you won't even notice it. I've only dressed up for that once, and that was 15 years ago on one of my very first cruises. Maybe I got to work on that. But don't worry about the dress code. People used to make it out to be such a big thing. Don't wear your bathing suit into a restaurant. They're going to tell you to go get dressed. But other than that, relax, chill. And if you want to go all out with the tux and the suit, or the suit and tie, do it. And don't worry about what the rest of the people think. And don't pay attention to the rest of people, and just enjoy the journey, because the journey is the destination. And I'll see you next time on the next detour. Later.